What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our Week 4 NFL predictions. Recording this right before that Seahawks Cardinals game. So we're going to be chugging this one out here really quick. But we got to talk about last weekend. From both of us just looking at a weekly standpoint, it did not go well for us. So hopefully you weren't on any of our bets last week except anytime touchdowns. Because if you count that, well, I went 2 for 3 on that, and you went two for three. So,
Two for yeah, so two for
yeah, I went
five
two and
actually.
two and one, and you
That's
went
rough.
2 and 3. So yeah, it's not too bad, but I mean nothing
Yeah.
really good to report here. So we'll just move on to that one and talk about last week. And I'll let you have the floor here since you got me in the overall.
So yeah, I mean, not a great week overall. We're still feeling a lot of things out, picking wise. But last year we did a pretty good job. So I think we'll continue on that trend. But overall, last week had a lot of good games, and this week we're looking forward to a lot more and a lot more in this new slate. So right back to you, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we both went 9-7 because we only picked two different games last week. You took the Colts. I just thought maybe the Titans would finally pull one out. Of course, that didn't happen. Then obviously you almost had the other one in there in Arizona and San Francisco, but I got, won that one at double zeros on the clock in the fourth there. But this week we got a lot of different picks, and we'll start it with our parlays. I'm going anytime touchdowns to the moon this week because I can't bet because I'm in Canada. So I don't know what the odds are, but I'm going Mason, Demont, Pollard. So three running backs. And then I'm going Josh Allen to scramble in and a Tyler Warren anytime touchdown. And of course, I got to put my new favorite Packer to record a sack against his old team on Sunday Night Football there.
All right, and as for me, I got my boy Emeka Egbuka for an anytime touchdown. And then I have Tampa Bay as what these next two are for Tampa Bay and Philadelphia. I'm taking the Buccaneers plus 3.5 at home against the Eagles, and then I'm expecting that game to be over 43.5 as well. And then I got Jameer Gibbs, Bijan, anytime touchdowns. I got to roll with Bijan again, and Gibbs seems to always score. And then my last one is Baltimore KC over 48.5. I believe that game will be, it's got to be a little bit over that. I'm thinking 27-24, which will cover that over. So.
Yeah, and we'll move into Thursday Night Football, and we're starting already off hot. I'm going with the Cardinals here at home. I think this Cardinals team is better than people think. Like I said earlier, they were 3 seconds away from being 3-0 heading into a Thursday Night Football matchup. They, somehow, some way still can't beat the Niners. It feels like that's just the thorn in their side, but I think the quick week's gonna help them here from a devastating loss like that. Return home. They're doing the new, what is it, City Night with the jerseys and the field and everything. And I think the Cardinals and Kyler Murray can put up more than 17 on the Seahawks defense, which no one has this year.
I'm taking Seattle here. I think this will be a really close game, but Seattle's offense with Sam Darnold has been moving the ball really well, and the passing game has been getting better, and the run game is just going to get better from here as well. They have two great backs. So I'm taking the Seattle Seahawks on the road. I think they're just a tougher team. The Cardinals seem to be like they always start off hot and then they end up being kind of like break dancers. So I think this week I'll go with the grittier team here on the road.
And then we'll move to the Sunday later games before the one in Ireland there, the ones that aren't as important and really should all be blowouts in our eyes. Commanders, Bills, Lions obviously should all blow out the other teams. And then I'm going with my second favorite team, the Tennessee Titans, to go into Houston and send the Texans to 0-4. One of these teams is going to go to 0-4. And at this point, I really don't even know who the right pick is because both these teams have been very bad this year.
Yeah, I'm taking the Texans in that game. I don't. I just. I mean, that's going to be if the Texans don't win that. That's pretty much a must win because if they don't win that, they start 0-4, and even with that bad division, I mean, the Colts could start out 4-0. So, a lot of ground to be made if they lose that game. So I'm expecting them to win. The Commanders. I'm not sure if Jaden Daniels supposed to be back. I don't know. Have you heard anything about that?
I've heard he's trying to play for this one, but I'm not 100% sure he's gonna. So it could be Mariota again, but I mean, Mariota last week obviously balled out. So
Yeah, he balled out last week. The Falcons had a terrible game against the Panthers. I think they're going to bounce back. I think that game might be pretty entertaining, especially with Atlanta being back at home. But with that being said, I'm taking the Commanders, and yeah, besides that one pick, we're sweeping the board with the favorites.
yeah, and then also the other games that aren't really enticing this week. I mean, maybe that Jaguars-Niners game is going to fly under the radar and be a little better. And with that, I'm going to take the Niners at home. I feel like you just can't bet against the Niners until they actually lose. So that's where I'm rolling with that one. I think Brock Purdy's expected back. Juwan Jennings expected to play in this one. Ayuk is nowhere even close, so give him a few more weeks until he gets started. But the game that I think not enough people are going to talk about is the Giants and Chargers. The Chargers should go in there and destroy the Giants, but Jackson Dart starting, and who knows how that offense is going to look? Because obviously he's more mobile quarterback than Russ is, so he'll be probably making a lot more throws on the run there, creating opportunities for neighbors. So maybe that's the recipe to beat the Chargers is get outside and kind of chaos ensue. But I still got to take the Chargers. They just swept the board in the AFC West, and it's pretty much almost impossible to do, especially this early in the season.
Yeah, the Chargers have looked really great this season. Um, Jackson Dart could bring that extra. What the Giants need is a little bit of pep in their step, and they might give that to a rookie quarterback. Might give that to them, so that could be a close game. That would be one of our survivor contenders. But we'll see about that later on in the video. But the Bears and the Raiders, I think that'll be a entertaining game as well. Just Caleb Williams coming off that 4 touchdown performance. Hopefully, he can bounce back and look like a lot of people expected him to look this year with that Bears offense.
And then moving to before those games, we're going to go Vikings Steelers in Dublin, Ireland. And I'm going with the Vikings here on the road. I know I'm picking against your Steelers, but what Rodgers showed last week in a very bad performance shows they can still win these games. But this Vikings offense, it doesn't matter who's at quarterback. They just have so many weapons to stop. I mean, Aaron Jones goes out, and then all of a sudden Jordan Mason is the bell cow and looks like he should never have to give up that role to Aaron Jones again. And that's going to be key for me. I think if the Vikings can establish the run, make it easy on Wentz further out the rest of the game, I think that's going to be the key, and the Vikings win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Steelers here, but this is a very dangerous matchup with that Vikings, the defense looking the way it did last week, and the Steelers, when Aaron Rodgers struggling to find a rhythm on offense. I think this will be a close game. I'm taking the Steelers, but a lot of strange things could happen in this game. I don't really have a great feel for it, but I'm just, it's a biased pick there.
Yeah, then also 1 o'clock game, probably the game of the week. Eagles, Bucks, both 3-0. And at this point, I think the Bucks are the better team than the Eagles. The Eagles have just found gritty ways to win. Same with the Bucks, though. I guess you could say off of last week, getting their field goal blocked, it gets returned for a touchdown. And somehow, some way, this Bucks team drives the field, kicks a game-winning field goal to win. And Baker is what, 3-0 in the last 3 minutes of each game. So you can't count out this Bucks team. Even with Mike Evans down, they get Chris Godwin back this week. Ibuka is just probably going to win Rookie of the Year at this point. And I don't know. It just seems like if there's one way to really introduce yourself to the Bucks, I know they've been good and great, but if you want to be elite, you have to win this game at home.
Absolutely, this is going to be a great game. I'm taking the Bucks as well. I mean, like you said with Baker, they just find a way to win the game in the last 2 minutes. Somehow, I think it's going to be another one of those games, just absolute craziness. But I'm taking the Bucks, and I think the Eagles will lose their first game here on the road.
And moving to 4 o'clock, we got Colts and Rams, and I don't think any of us saw the Colts starting 3-0. The Rams could be 3-0 if they would know how to hold a lead against Philly. And I'm going with the Rams here at home. I think the Colts start to not crumble, but this Rams front is no joke. The Colts haven't faced a team like that this year, and I think they're going to get after Daniel Jones and really make him throw some off-platform throws, and I think that's where the Rams can really shine in this one. And then Matthew Stafford obviously has been balling out, and I expect that to continue here in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams as well. Colts have looked good, but I just think the Rams are at home. They're gonna keep playing physical football, like you said. That defensive line and Kyron Williams has been back, and with Blake Corum running the ball as well, they got a nice little duo. And all the weapons in the world for Stafford right now. So give me those Rams.
And then 425, a game where neither of us saw this being a 1-2 fest for each team. Ravens at Chiefs, and I'm going with the Chiefs at home strictly because it's Arrowhead, Mahomes, primetime game. It just makes too much sense. But that's been the case this whole year where they've lost. And I don't know. If the Chiefs lose this game, I'm probably going to be out on the Chiefs. just until the playoffs and they rope me back in and they go run the table and win this thing. But right now, this Ravens team could easily be 3-0, but they're not. And that's the case because they just crumbled late in both of those losses. So going into Arrowhead, I really am more confident in the Ravens winning this game, but I'm more confident in trusting Mahomes to win a big game. So that's kind of where I lie for this one.
Yeah, this is going to be another one of those. This is going to be America's game of the week. I'm taking the Ravens on the road, and I usually don't do this. I don't usually pick against the Chiefs and Mahomes, but the Ravens just, I think they need it more. Coming off just a awful loss last week, and they really haven't played their best football this year. So I think this is where, especially in the regular season, a little bit less pressure on Lamar. They should make the playoffs either way. So there's not too much pressure, but they do need this game, and it'll be a big proving ground for later in the year, a confidence booster for Lamar. So I'm taking the Ravens here.
Then moving to Sunday night, you got my Packers going on the road to face Dallas. And the Packers have won more games in Dallas than I feel like Dallas has in this matchup since new Jerry Jones world has been built. And the trend's going to continue here. Micah Parsons goes home, and he obviously facing his old team, there's going to be some extra motivation there. And obviously, this Packers offense has been rolling until last week against the Browns, where it just seems like it all crumbled and fell apart. So maybe that's going to be their wake-up call this year. They come out and hang 40 on the worst defense in the NFL.
I don't know. We'll see about that, but I do think this defense is too good. The Packers defense, that is too good. And Dak losing CeeDee Lamb is pretty big for the Cowboys. So you can't forget about that. And I mean, the Packers defense is really what's going to carry them this week, I think. And I think their offense is going to do just enough, putting pressure on them and just doing just enough to win the ball game here.
Then moving to Monday night, we got not one, but two games here. And what a great week to start it off with the Jets going 0-3, and same with the Dolphins starting 0-3. And you know what's better than 0-3, 0-4, and that's going to be those New York Jets. Because I think the Dolphins finally get on the board. Because if they don't, I would not expect Mike McDaniel to be the head coach of this team walking back to the locker room after this game. Because he just has
Yep.
to win this game for his job, pretty much. And with the weapons that are there, there's no reason that they can't beat this Jets team at home.
Yeah, if they don't win this game, I wouldn't be surprised if they start shopping Tyreek Hill and HN and all their weapons. Because 0-4 would not be a good start. They're gonna have to blow it up pretty much. But that being said, I'm gonna take the Dolphins here. They just play good against the Jets, and I don't trust the Jets too much. So
Then the last game of the week, you get the Bengals, Broncos, and I think before Burrow's injury, I'm probably taking the Bengals here on the road. But Browning last week showed me that he's going to struggle. Yeah, he's going to go out there and sling it, but how much is too much? And I think that's going to be another case here against this great Broncos defense, where this is another team that could easily be 3-0, but unfortunately, it just doesn't go their way. And I think the Broncos get back to 500, and they also bring the Bengals to 500 here this week with a Bo Nix stellar performance.
yeah, I'm with you. I mean, if Joe Burrow was here, I'd be taking them. But their backup, I'm losing his name right now, but he didn't look good last week, and I think Denver is gonna. They came off that a rough loss, kind of a heartbreaker against the Chargers. So I think they're gonna bounce back in a big way this week, and Bo Nix will be ready.
And then our survivor pick 'em to end the video. We're both going with the Bills here. I mean, Bills favored by 16.5 against the Saints at home. I think this one just makes too much sense here. I mean, obviously, Josh Allen and the Bills have been rolling. I mean, don't you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's there's not many other games that compete with this one in terms of our survivor pick 'em. So that's kind of all I have to say about that one.
Yeah, and that's pretty much all we got here. Check back next week to see how we did. Obviously, we'll be breaking down all the week 5 games as well. But until next time, the Bench Buddies are out.